Okay, together. Okay, and
Sometimes there are
Après, quand on retourne à la maison.
statue and somebody else comes along and takes the money.
Si, c'est une facile dans le
Yeah, but everybody is not like that, okay? Maybe too much. There's really as much as policemen as like
Is like
tourists.
Sacre Coeur like a target or
What?
is Sacre Coeur like a target?